Hi guys, welcome back. Today's yoga practice is a somatics yoga class. It is the presentation that I did in January at the Yoga Expo. So if you're ready to slow down and do less and de-stress, then this is the class for you. Let's begin. So let's start off on our back. So lie down, find a nice comfortable position. That can either be with the legs extended or the knees bent, whichever you prefer. As you rest here then, just let the eyes close, take a few breaths. Just giving your time to settle into this space, to bring yourself here, present, onto your mat, into your body, and into your practice. Begin to notice the connection of your body to the floor. What's the sense of the distance between the feet here? The relationship of the arms to the torso. Are they close to the torso, further away, or touching the torso? Is there a sense that maybe one arm is closer to the torso than the other? And regardless of whether the legs are extended or the knees are bent, what's the relationship of your feet to the floor here? Does one leg or foot feel heavier than the other? As you notice the pelvis, notice a similar thing here as one side of the pelvis more deeply connected to the floor. And what about the lower back? Is there a large space or a small space between the lower back and the floor? And as you bring your awareness up to the shoulders, the arms, the hands, what's the relationship there to the floor? Is one a little lifted? Does one feel more deeply connected? And finally, notice your head. Does your head feel balanced, even? Or do you notice any little tilt to one side? Let's take that information then, store it away, revisit it at the end of our practice. And let's draw the knees up and place the feet onto the floor. Have the feet around hip distance apart here. And just start to take a little bit of arch and flatten. So this is a small move. As you inhale, the lower back will arch away from the floor. As you exhale, the lower back will draw down and connect into the floor. Inhaling and rising. Exhaling and lowering. And we're just essentially taking a little bit of rock of the pelvis here. So as you inhale, there's space between the lower back and the floor. As you exhale, you draw the lower back down and reduce or eliminate that space. And just notice how the pelvis is moving here. Is there more ease of movement on one side of the pelvis than the other? Does it even maybe feel a little crunchy or sticky? In which direction do you have a preference to move into? Is it into the arch or is it into the flatten? And as you do a couple more, then begin to notice any reciprocal movement of the head, the neck, shoulders. How is that different on the right to the left? Is there more weight perhaps on one side? And the last thing that I want you to notice here is as you tuck the tailbone and you exhale, just notice this connection of the lower back to the floor. Is that different on the right side when compared to the left? And the next time that you draw the lower back to the floor, that will be the last time. And as you inhale, find a nice and neutral position. From that neutral position, then walk the feet a little bit wider than the hips here. And let the arms open out to the sides. And as you feel yourself here in this little T spread position, let the knees just draw over to the left side. And the knees will draw up and come over to the right. Take it nice and slow, don't rush. Notice a few things here. One is, does it just feel nicer to go to the right or to the left? Does one side feel more natural? And also, is there more range of motion on one side compared to the other? So as you draw the knees over to the left next time, notice where the legs relate to the floor. Do they touch? Are they lifted away? And as you bring the knees up and over to the opposite side, notice the same things. And then the next time that your knees come to the left side, then we're going to hold them there. And as you hold the knees to the left, rest there. Feel the right arm connect to the floor. Turn the palm up towards the ceiling. Feel the back of the hand connect to the floor. Keeping that connection then, Can you reach the right arm all the way up and back behind you? And then let it come back out to the side and maybe down towards the right hip. So if you think about a snow angel here, we've all made a snow angel, or most of us have, in the snow. Then can you make half of a snow angel? Notice the connection of the hand to the floor, and as you reach back, does that connection change? Now for some of you, you may have to lift the hand away from the floor. That's okay. If there's any pain as you reach the arm back, then definitely kind of hover the arm away from the floor or just reduce the range of motion. As you do a couple more, if it feels more comfortable as you reach back, can you lift the elbow a little bit away from the floor but keep the hand connected? And the next time that you reach that arm all the way back behind you towards the back of your mat, let it remain. Lift the elbow but keep the hand connected to the floor. Turn the palm to the floor. Lift the shoulder. Lift the right side of the pelvis and rotate the right hand all the way across towards the left. When it reaches, reach the right arm all the way back behind you. Let the shoulder reconnect, let the hip reconnect, and then let yourself come back out to the side. And then do that again. Reach the arm all the way up and back. Take it around the top of the head. Bend the elbow. Drag yourself around to that left hand. And then bring it all the way up, all the way back, and all the way over. And just repeat it a few times. Notice how your body moves. And the next time that you reach the right hand towards the left, that will be your last time. And as you reach back, reach that right arm all the way back. Let it stay there. Let the knees come up. And let the knees come up and over towards the right side. And let's repeat the same thing with the left. So the left arm then will reach back behind you. Keep the hand, if you can, connected to the floor. Let the left arm come all the way back out to the left side and down towards the left hip. Create that half snow angel with that left side. So notice a couple of things here. Does this arm move differently? Does this shoulder behave differently? And you'll notice that in the connection perhaps of the arm to the floor. As you reach the arm back, is that connection different? And the next time then that you reach that arm all the way back, then turn the palm to the floor, roll yourself up and over, let the arm continue its journey towards the right hand. Once you get there, then let it draw all the way back behind and all the way back out to the left side and sweep it around into that snow angel. And again, perform this a few times. Let the arm be kind of loose, like a rag doll here. Let the shoulder dictate the movement. And noticing the integration of the body, of the shoulders and the pelvis. To notice how your body wants to move. Notice if this side feels differently integrated than the other. And the next time that that left arm travels over towards the right side, let that be the last time. And as it comes out, let it stay all the way out. And let the arms find that T. Draw the knees up into center. Let the knees come over to the right. As they do, that right arm will travel up and around. And then the right arm will come all the way back. The knees will come up as the right arm comes to the right side. The knees will draw to the right, and the left arm will come all the way back and around. So we start to integrate this into a movement pattern. Whichever side the knees draw to, the opposite arm will travel back all the way around and over to the side of the knees. Once you get there, the arm will travel all the way back. As the hips return to neutral, the knees will come up and you'll flow to the opposite side. And just do this a few times. And as you begin to make this a movement pattern, I want you to notice any sticky points where it starts to feel restricted. And wherever you are here in your pattern, the next time the knees come to the right side, let that be your last time. And as your arms open out and the knees come back into center, rest for a breath. So let the arms come back down to the sides. Let the feet be separated, hip distance apart. And from here, draw the feet close towards the bum. They don't have to be touching, but close towards the bum, so that perhaps the heels are underneath the knees. And very small, I want you to lift the pelvis away from the floor and then lower it back down. Lift the pelvis away from the floor and lower back down. I want you to do one more. And as you lower back down, rest. So that was both sides of the pelvis lifting away from the floor. Okay? We've already done this windshield wiper movement of the knees moving right to left. And those two things are not what I want to happen in the next exercise. What I want to happen in the next exercise is that you lift just the right hip away from the floor, the right side of the pelvis. It'll be small. There's a space now between my left butt cheek and the floor, but the right side of my pelvis is connected. The left side will come back down, and then the right side will lift up. So now there's a space between my right butt cheek and the floor, but the left side is connected. And then let the right side come back down. So we're walking the pelvis right to left, but notice the knees are not moving. The knees now are pointing more up towards the ceiling. So I like to think here about the Staples easy button. Staples makes things easy, right? It has that little easy button on the advert. And I want you to think about the easy button being about 2 inches away from your knee. And you're trying to push that easy button with your knee. And as you do this a few more times, just rolling the pelvis right to left, notice the side waist. Notice the relationship of your back and your torso to the floor, maybe even into your arms, your head, your neck. How does that change as you move the pelvis? And the next time then, the right side of your pelvis lifts up and away from the floor. Let that be the last time. And then let everything settle back down. From here, bring the hands to the back of the head, interlace the fingers. As you exhale your next breath, lift the head and the shoulders up, pull the elbows in. As you inhale, release back down to the floor. Exhale, lift the head and the shoulders. Inhale and release. Next time then that you exhale, the head and the shoulders will lift, but the right knee only will draw in towards the nose. And as you inhale, release back down. Next breath, the left knee will draw in. As you inhale, release back down. And just do a couple more. Notice here if one knee draws closer towards your chest. And the next time that your left knee draws in, and let that be the last one. As you release down, then hug both knees in towards the chest. Hug the knees in. Take a little rock and roll. Roll to one side, and then push yourself up and come up and over onto the hands and the knees. So as we find the hands and the knees, spread the fingers wide, but take the hands a little bit further forward of the shoulders. You can have the knees kind of supported here with a blanket or a cushion. The knees are hip distance apart here, the hands are a little wider than the shoulders. And take a little bit of cat and cow. As you inhale, the navel descends to the floor. As you exhale, pull the navel to the spine, tuck in the chin. You do a few here. Begin to notice the integration of your body as you move through this vertebral wave. The next time that you exhale, you'll round all the way up, and as you inhale, you'll release into neutral. Alright, so from here, let's start to think about the side waist and the torso. So can you draw the left side of your pelvis towards the left shoulder? Release it back into neutral. Draw the right side of your pelvis towards the right shoulder. Now I like to call this wagging the dog here. So imagine that you're a puppy dog wagging its tail. Just letting the pelvis move from side to side. And the next time that your pelvis moves to the left side, towards the left shoulder, can you look towards that left butt cheek? And as you release it, the head will come forward again. And as the pelvis comes to the right, look over the right shoulder towards your right butt cheek. And just move back and forth. And the next time that your right side of your pelvis moves to the right shoulder, let that be the last one. And then rest. So from here, bring the right hand into the middle of your mat. The knees are still separated here, and you may even want to separate them a little bit more. Let the left arm then reach out to the left side, and how much can you lift that arm up and away from the floor? Bring the left hand back down. Repeat that action. Do it a couple more times. Let the arm lift. Let the arm lower. And the next time that you lift, stay there. Notice how much rotation the chest has towards that left side. How much openness here is the chest towards that left side. Don't think about the arm as it's reaching up, because that arm can reach back all on its own and the chest be in that position. So how much is the chest open towards that left side? Bring the hand back down to the floor. Keep the hands where they are. All I would like you to do is move the knees. So can the left knee move forward and the right knee move a little back? Think about the pelvis again here, this little wag of the dog. Can you do the same thing in this position? Because I would like to invite you to do that same thing as you rotate. So, hold the pelvis here, be in the same position that you were just a second ago, and let the left arm reach up. Where is the chest? Is it open more towards that left side? And then bring it back down. Lift the arm up. And then bring it back down. Do a couple more. So notice that the pelvis starts to integrate a little bit more when we separate the knees. And the next time that you lift that left arm, stay there. Feel the ease of letting that pelvis move with your shoulders. And then bring the left hand down. Notice how much space is between the knees. And then bring them back into parallel and just sit back into child's pose. So come back to the hands and the knees, and we'll do the other side. So stay with the knees parallel to one another. Bring the left hand to the middle of your mat. And then from here, the right arm will reach up, and then the right hand will come back down. Do it 2 more times. Hold that third one. Notice the rotation or the lack of rotation. For me, on my right side, my chest doesn't open as much to the right side. Bring that right hand back down. Draw the right knee forward, but the left knee back. So not only is there space between the knees back and front, but also right to left. Wag the dog a little bit here. Is that different already here? And then the next time that you pass through center with the pelvis, pause. Begin the rotation. Reach that right arm up. Open to the right side and release back down. Experience it a few times on this side. Allow the pelvis to move. The next time then that right arm reaches up and out, stay, pause, take a few breaths. Examine how this side feels different in the rotation to the previous side. Bring the right hand back to the floor. Separate the hands. Bring the knees back into neutral here, and then sit the hips back. Take child's pose. From child's pose, come back up to the hands and the knees, and then bring yourself up and over onto your back. Set yourself up with, again, the knees bent and the feet on the floor. And allow the knees to sway again from side to side. Just letting them move right to left. And becoming aware of any differences here in how this feels compared to the beginning of our practice. As you draw the knees in through center, let them rest. And start again to take that little arch and flatten. The same movement that we had at the beginning. Notice, does it feel any different compared to the beginning of your practice? Remember if it felt crunchy or sticky. Remember the integration or lack of that you had of the head, the neck, and the shoulders. Noticing if anything has changed. And as you exhale your next breath, draw the navel to the spine. Bring one knee at a time in towards the chest. And take a little rock and roll from side to side. As the knees come back to the floor, rediscover the shape that you made at the beginning of your practice. Let the eyes close. As you find that same shape, the then start again to notice the connection of your body to the floor. As you remember that little memory file at the beginning of your practice of how your body connected to the floor, perhaps the space between the feet, the relationship of the pelvis and the shoulders to the floor, and any differences that you felt at the beginning in how your body connected to the floor. Does anything feel different here? You're more than welcome to remain here for Shavasana, or you can find a more comfortable, supportive position. Whatever position you choose, make sure that it's comfortable. Let the eyes close. Release the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Soften into the face. Let the pelvis get heavy. And begin to notice your breath. Notice the length of the inhale and the length of the exhale. Notice the space between each breath. And just allow yourself some time to rest and breathe. Deepen your breath. Start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. And letting your body move and stretch. And when you're ready to draw the knees up in towards the chest, roll to one side, take a few breaths on your side. Using that top hand, pushing into the floor. Draw the navel to the spine, tucking the chin, unfold, coming up into seated. Resting here with the spine aligned and the eyes closed. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Deep inhale. Exhale. One more big deep inhale. And a loud exhale. Resting here. Sky above, earth below, peace within. Namaste. So I hope that you enjoyed that. It was a pleasure to present it at the Yoga Expo in Pasadena. And if you're interested in more yoga videos, including some somatics yoga, then please check out my Patreon channel. I will leave a link in the description below. Don't forget, if you did enjoy this practice, then give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already and hit the notification bell. And I will see you next time. Bye!